A millionaire sees bruises on his maid, and when he discovers the truth, he calls the cops immediately. The soft clink of porcelain echoed through the spacious, sunlit kitchen as Mary gently set the teacup on the counter. Her hands trembled slightly, though she tried to steady them. The soothing aroma of chamomile filled the air, but it did little to calm her nerves. Across from her, Jonathan Hale, a billionaire known for his sharp mind and even sharper business instincts, sat at the marble island, absorbed in a stack of paperwork. Dressed in a perfectly tailored navy suit, his platinum blonde hair combed immaculately, he barely looked up. "Thank you, Mary," he said absent-mindedly. "You're welcome, sir," she replied quietly, turning to leave before he noticed her face. But as she moved, a shaft of morning light from the tall French doors hit her just right, and he saw it. He froze, his coffee cup halfway to his lips. A dark purplish bruise stretched beneath Mary's left eye, partially hidden but unmistakable. "Mary," he said slowly, setting down his cup. "What happened to your face?" Mary stiffened, her back still to him. "It's nothing, sir. I just bumped into a cabinet. Clumsy me." His eyes narrowed. "Turn around." She hesitated, gripping the edge of the counter. "Mary," he repeated, his voice firmer now. Reluctantly, she turned to face him. The bruise was worse than he expected. A cut lined her lip, and when she shifted her arm, he caught a glimpse of another red mark just beneath the short sleeve of her blouse. He stood up, his face hardening. "That's not from a cabinet." Tears welled up in her eyes, but she shook her head quickly. "Please, sir, don't ask. I'm fine." "You're not fine," he said, his voice low, controlled. "Who did this to you?" She held the tea tray tightly, her knuckles white. "It doesn't matter. I need this job. Please, I don't want any trouble." Jonathan looked at her for a long moment. This wasn't business. This was personal. Mary had been working in his house for 3 years. Loyal, quiet, hardworking, more like family than staff. "Mary," he said gently, "you've never asked for anything. You're always here, always doing your best. You don't deserve this. No one does." A single tear slipped down her bruised cheek. "I'll handle it," he said quietly, pulling out his phone. "You don't have to be afraid anymore." Mary's lips trembled. "What are you doing?" "Calling the police," he replied without hesitation. "This ends now." "It's my husband," she whispered. He didn't want me working here. Said it makes him look weak. When I tried to leave for work this morning, Her voice cracked. She pressed a trembling hand to her swollen lip. Jonathan's jaw clenched, fists tightening at his sides. "How long has this been going on?" Mary shook her head. "Please don't get involved. He'll be furious if he finds out I told anyone. I can't lose this job, sir. It's all I have." "You can't keep protecting him," Jonathan said firmly. "I'm not protecting him," she whispered, eyes glassy with tears. "I'm protecting myself and my son." Jonathan blinked, momentarily stunned. "You have a child?" Mary nodded faintly. "He's 7. I send half my salary to my sister every month so she can take care of him. If my husband knew..." Her voice broke. She covered her face with both hands, her shoulders shaking. Jonathan's chest burned with anger. "You're living in fear every day while he walks free." Mary said nothing. Bang! 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 A loud knock shattered the silence. Mary flinched so hard the teacup rattled in its saucer. Her eyes darted to the front door, wide with terror. Jonathan noticed the way her whole body stiffened, how her hands trembled. "It's him, isn't it?" he asked quietly. She didn't answer, but her pale, shaking frame told him everything he needed to know. The knocking grew louder, more violent. Mary, open the door. A deep, angry voice roared from outside. Mary backed away, her hand flying to her bruised cheek. He's going to be so angry I'm late. He always says I don't listen. Jonathan stepped around the counter and gently placed a hand on her shoulder. Stay here, he said firmly. I'll handle this. No, please, she whispered, panicked. Don't make him angrier. He'll come after me later. He always does. Jonathan met her eyes, soft but resolute. Not this time. The pounding at the door continued, louder, fiercer. Jonathan's expression darkened. He pulled out his phone and began dialing. Mary, open this door right now. The man's voice bellowed again, filled with rage. Mary's knees buckled as she pressed herself against the kitchen counter, chest heaving in panic. Jonathan's hand tightened around his phone as he dialed the estate's head of security. Now, he said into the receiver. Front door, immediately. But before he could finish, shouting erupted outside. Hey, you can't go in there, a guard yelled. Seconds later, the front door burst open. The sounds of scuffling, a grunt of pain, and heavy footsteps echoed against the marble floor. Jonathan turned just as the man stormed into the hallway, tall, broad-shouldered, his face twisted in fury. Mary gasped, sinking to the floor. No, please. But Jonathan had already stepped forward, shielding her with his body. His voice was cold, steady, and filled with authority. You set 1 foot closer, and I swear you'll regret it. Behind him, more guards rushed in, followed by the distant sound of sirens growing louder. Jonathan's stomach dropped. Mary, he'll come for me later, Mary whispered, her voice trembling. He always does. I can't run forever. Jonathan's jaw clenched. He looked down at her, this brave, broken woman who had suffered too long in silence. You won't have to, he said firmly. Minutes later, the sound of sirens pierced the quiet air outside the mansion. Red and blue lights flashed across the polished floor as 2 officers entered the grand foyer, their boots squeaking against marble. Jonathan stepped aside as his guards handed over the man, still snarling, struggling against the cuffs. This is her husband, Jonathan told the officers. He forced his way in, assaulted my staff, and has a long history of abusing her. She's terrified of him. You can't do this to me, the man shouted. She's my wife. Jonathan's expression was ice. Not anymore. You're done. The officers led the man out, the front door shutting behind them with a final, heavy thud. Mary collapsed into a chair, sobs erupting from her chest as everything came crashing down. Years of fear, pain, and silence, all spilling out at once. Jonathan crouched beside her, gently placing a hand on her arm. Mary, he said softly, you're safe now. He's not coming back. But she shook her head, tears streaking down her bruised cheeks. He'll find a way, she whispered. He always finds a way. Not this time, Jonathan replied, his voice calm but resolute. We'll get a restraining order, and if you're willing, I'll help you find a place where he can't reach you or your son ever again. Mary looked at him, stunned. Why? She breathed. Why are you doing this? You don't even know me. Jonathan's expression softened. Because I've spent my life building empires and chasing profits, but if I can't protect the people under my own roof, what good am I? That evening, Jonathan personally drove Mary to a safe house, a secure, quiet home for women escaping domestic abuse. Before she stepped out, he handed her a sealed envelope. There's enough inside to start fresh, he said gently, and a letter from me. If you ever want your job back, it's yours. No questions asked. Mary clutched the envelope to her chest, overcome with emotion. Take care of your son, Jonathan said. You don't owe me anything. You owe yourself and him a better life. She nodded, tears falling silently, and walked toward the house without looking back. Jonathan watched her go, a strange calm settling over him. For once, it wasn't about business or power or reputation. It was about doing the right thing. And he knew this was one decision he would never regret. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. Let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.